camaraderie with honeycombs.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names, and wouldn't nobody be able to sue me.
The woman that they're saying is his mother was a prostitute and a whore.
Because what I didn't hear when Cassie filed that lawsuit was all the other women who have been hurt by the diddler jump up and say, that happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me.
When it comes to speaking out against the disgraced hip-hop mogul, Jaguar Wright has been one of the most vocal. Long before the Diddy allegations surfaced, she mentioned him in an interview where she talked about how suspicious Jay-Z was and detailed how Jay-Z first started out in the music industry under the shadow of his mentor.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as the nigga that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L.
One of the
That was the
dopest.
sensei.
One of the dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
She went on to say that Jay-Z began moving quickly up the ranks after the death of said mentor and finally grew close to Diddy, whom she called honeycombs.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay-Z. And then, you know, he starts clienteling with Tupac and clienteling with Biggie and doing songs with Biggie and building a working, you know, camaraderie with honeycombs and aka Diddy. And
Why do you give him the honeycombs? Why do you give him honeycombs?
because he smacks so sweet. That f***ing sodomite. Anyway, so yeah, then, you know, and then Reasonable Doubt was happening, and then Dame's in the picture, and Dame's building Rockefeller, and everybody's talking about Jay-Z.
In addition to discussing how Diddy made money off of his pal Biggie's death longer than he lived, this conversation took place over a year before the Diddy accusations initially surfaced following Cassie's lawsuit against him.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Fucking Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived. It supported all of Bad Boy. His catalog.
When Jaguar Wright was discussing how black billionaires do not assist their people, she brought up Diddy's alleged HIV. She claimed that Diddy had the chance to do concrete good like everyone else, but chose not to do so, citing Magic Johnson as someone who actively sought to change things.
He's allegedly. I'm just curious, what he done?
Damn.
Shout out to Magic Johnson, a real black billionaire who wasn't all freaked off, who actually made business, bank exchange, created dollars in real black neighborhoods, so real black families could have that opportunity just like everybody else.
She went on to discuss his HIV diagnosis, saying that he at least accepted it and dealt with it head-on.
I mean, he actually caught HIV, like having like a lot of women.
Oh yeah, let's just go down the rabbit hole of all of his sins.
I'm just saying.
You wanna know what's wild about that though? He faced that head up.
He did.
And he didn't stop doing what he's done.
An advocate. Now he did that. And
period. Listen to me. He faced that head up. How many dudes is running around undetectable? G?
People believe she was referring to Diddy because he is known to be promiscuous and was always the party animal. She continued by saying that a number of other people were operating covertly and that she could name at least 20 other people in the industry. She even stated that none of them could sue her because they knew she was telling the truth.
Because I could tell you 20 right now that I could rattle off names, and wouldn't nobody be able to sue me.
Wait, please name them, because we need to know.
I'm not doing
Wait a
that.
minute.
Things that I'll be discussing on the Jaguar Wright show from here on out.
In the meantime, Diddy's legal troubles are getting worse, and Jaguar has been a frequent commentator on them. Like Diddy, she has also been outspoken about Jay-Z, who was recently sued for allegedly assaulting a young girl with Diddy.
Oh, who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
In that same interview, she called on Diddy to snitch on Jay-Z, saying that he would likely break and do it in order to get some kind of plea deal because he was not someone who could survive in jail. She also discussed the need to bring those complicit in Diddy's crimes to justice, including Jennifer Lopez and
But let's not be coy. You know, I am Jaguar. So let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a bean. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Should I keep going?
I mean, you're hitting it off.
Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Or for Justin Bieber alone.
Then followed her bombshell Piers Morgan interview, in which she had to edit her portion of the interview after receiving a cease and desist letter and calling Diddy and Jay-Z monsters, in addition to saying that the Carters were a horrible marriage.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
Apart from the HIV accusation in one interview, Jaguar revealed Diddy's background and how it contributed to his complex behavior, among other accusations.
I'll see when they interviewed Dapper Dan about Diddy.
I haven't seen that one. Please.
They ran into Dapper Dan in Harlem and they asked him what he thought about what was going on with Diddy and if he knew Diddy. And I love Dapper Dan for this. He said, I grew up with his parents. I knew his parents. He said, and what's going on with him has been going on long before him.
She disclosed that Janice Combs is actually his aunt and that there are rumors that his real mother was a prostitute.
Now, his father was a government snitch and a bad actor in the criminal world altogether. The woman that they're saying is his mother was a prostitute and a whore. But there's whispers in the streets of Harlem that Diddy's mother isn't alive, not his biological mother, that woman is his aunt.
Whoa.
There are whispers.
Wait a minute.
There are whispers.
She said that Jen Deal served Diddy more as a father figure than a bodyguard, which was one of the most intriguing parts.
Diddy's story is so convoluted, but nobody really likes talking about who he was before he became Puffy. Nobody, I would love if I could be granted an interview with him. To interview Diddy now,
in his most raw state about his life up until the age of 15 only.
Gee.
We gotta learn how to stop making Diddy's. What made him him?
She continued by saying that Diddy controlled himself around them because he
Think about this. Gene was more of a father figure to Diddy than he was a bodyguard. And Gene was more than a bodyguard, he was an investigator. So when they went separate ways, clearly, he couldn't hold up the act anymore. And that's why I said, when me and Gene sat right here, imagine how much more damage would have been done so much sooner if Gene wasn't there. Diddy was worried about what Gene thought about him.
Yeah.
He didn't have a father figure.
cared about what people thought of him, which is why Jane and those
And all the other guys around him, you know, that's why I think they're all, from Pete Rock to all of them, are so shocked and surprised. Because he was not this in front of them. He still cared about what they thought about him, you see? But you get more money and you get more drugs. This is a drug addict. He was arrested with his special little Tootsie on it. And he knew he was coming. Why would you have that on you, G? What you was gonna bump into the last, you know what I mean?
those around him at the time were shocked at the depth of his depravity.
What is the mentality behind having
If you can own
visual
someone's
memory of it?
sexuality, their vulnerability, if you can own that, you have the ability to control and manipulate that.
In a previous interview, she claimed that Jay-Z was responsible for Diddy's demise because he aspires to be the only king of the hill, which is consistent with her statement that Jay-Z became the top rapper after Nas suffered a mental breakdown.
Absolutely. And it's worse for the men. Women are used to being the victims of sexual, not men. No man walks in thinking that another man is looking at him like a lollipop. Not a straight man. You are only hip to the that you hip to. You know what I mean? Which is why you hear so many people say they went to Diddy parties and they felt like something was off and decided to leave, or they got invited to another room and they decided to go because they felt like it wasn't right, or whatever the case may be. These is literally walking in there not thinking.
If we had to name two people that he probably wished would stop talking already, it would probably be his former bodyguard.
Because what I didn't hear when Cassie filed that lawsuit was all the other women who have been hurt by the diddler jump up and say, that happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me. Everybody just sat back and speculated on whether or not she was a gold digger or telling the truth. Misa had more to say about the raid and the treatment of her child than she did about watching Cassie step forward bravely to file that suit publicly. And she didn't say nothing, did she? I don't remember Misa saying, that's right, girl, I'm filing my suit next week.
Jin Deal and the indomitable Jaguar Wright, who recently struck again this time, claiming that Diddy has been diagnosed with HIV but refuses to admit it.
Can you imagine if Misa had to file charges against the diddler when he kicked her ass up underneath that car? Or if Kim had to press charges for when he broke her nose? Will we even be seeing that video with Cassie? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Why are we letting monsters make it? And why are we letting victims suffer inside?
What is considered a friend, quote unquote. And we seen what Jay people had mentioned as far as his lawyer saying that Diddy is not a friend. They are just acquaintances. He does not consider him a friend. He does not hang out. He doesn't know nothing about him. And then there's a video going viral right now where Diddy is saying he brings Jay-Z for the 20-year anniversary of Bad Boy saying,
Jay-Z's special.
Yeah, he says, like, when I'm in trouble, I call on him.
Yeah, and guess what? He did it this time, just like D. Havens said. And guess what? He ain't there. What's new? I'm curious.
Do you feel like people hide their past in the security of marriage? Like, hey, I got a new wife. My past is my past.
Yeah,
We should talk about that.
He went and found himself a little Tisha 2.0, and everybody forgot about that Paratown thing. Now guess what? Will Smith don't know Diddy either.
Will Smith don't know Diddy either.
It's a whole like virus, G. It's like, I don't know Diddy.
What do you think that's
I
about?
don't even like baby oil. I don't know Diddy.